Hi Nithya, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for making time and doing this for us. So,
No problem.
So to begin with, I'd just like to welcome Diksha since Diksha made time and joined the call, and also I think for all those who will join into the call, thank you very very much in advance. Today's session is of course from our Alum Speak series, and to begin the series, I would first like to of course introduce Nithya, who is our founding batch scholar, and also we have Kunal with us, who heads strategy for marketing and admissions. So hi Kunal.
Hi Ananya, hi Nithya, hi Diksha.
Hi. We are going to begin the session first by understanding from Nithya about her own journey with Vedica and also about what Nithya is doing currently. Like we know that, this is a tech special because, Nithya is from the tech background herself. And Nithya, maybe over to you. You can share and talk about your journey.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to talk. I, of course, like the idea when you said that let's talk about women in tech. So I'm great to have this opportunity to be talking to my alma mater about how I'm doing, how I've come through in life, how has Vedika helped me, and everything. A little bit about myself. Uh, Basically, I'm a very hyper person. I enjoy reading, dancing, uh, and I enjoy quizzing on the weekends. I eat a lot of food. I'm a foodie by heart. I just like about learning about, and I'm curious about things in general. I spend a lot of time on social media, just reading random articles on tech, on politics, on news. So that's about a little about my personality, I guess. Coming to what I do for a living, I have been working for more than 5 years in the space of artificial intelligence and product management. I sort of landed accidentally in this field, I would say, because even 5 years back, I was not aware or I wasn't sure of, if I'll be in this space for, in the long run. But now I think I am sure and I'm good to be in this space. And I'm talking about the space right now because of my journey here, how Vedika has helped me, how my UG has helped me, how the course of steps has helped me be here in this current space right now. Um, so I'll also tell about a little about my career of where I am and what am I doing right now. So I started my a full-time work experience by joining this company called Bristlecone Labs. It is Mahindra Group's accelerator company. So it's one of the company owned by Mahindra, and it's a pure play consulting and an AI technology company. What they were doing is they were using artificial intelligence to enhance supply chain in the manufacturing sector. Like, how do you intelligently buy things at the right time, at the right place? How do you figure out that your supply chain, you procure the things at the right price and it reaches you and in time for production? You see cars being you book a car and then it gets delivered only after 6 months. There's a 6 months wait time. How to reduce that and everything. So the sort of pure play consulting and technology company, and where you use AI to help things improve and make life a little easier by guiding people to take better decisions in life. Sorry, in life as in companies what they do. Maybe in life also, for sure. I don't know, we'll see about that. AI has a lot of applications, but yeah. So after Mahindra, I made a quick jump to PwC, wherein I was into pure play tech consulting again. Now not just supply chain, I was working for a bigger scope of things, where I was building intelligent products so that people use in real life, from your Zomato app, the intelligent map navigation, or it automatically recognizes you and recommends things to you in terms of food, or what are you feeling, what's your mood like, or something like that. So we were working on interesting products in PwC. Then after PwC, I got actually while I was working in PwC, in my personal life, I had gotten married. So there was a situation where I had to move countries. So I was thinking about staying in Bangalore for the long run. I was working in Bangalore in PwC, but things happened that my husband was there in Dubai, and this sort of gave me an opportunity to think about moving abroad, right? I'm still young, right? So I wanted to go abroad and, figure out things and, see how the work life is there and what kind of opportunities are there. Because in my field, right, in exciting technology in AI, I also wanted to see what the world has to offer more. And Dubai and UAE as a space itself, in AI, had a much more interesting, say, a gamut of things that they could play with. They had a lot of budget to experiment in. So I quickly wanted to jump on that bandwagon and say, hey, I would like to try things here, work here and see, be in the future of AI and whatnot. So I came here. I am currently working in this company called G42, which is a leading AI company here in the Middle East. And I was immediately put into a lot of high visibility projects. So I work with a lot of government entities now, helping them use AI to to improve their security, their decisions, their policy making, and whatnot. So it's a lot of high visibility projects that I'm working on, and I'm great to be a part of such projects. And currently, I'm working in the Expo 2020 World Dubai project. So that's huge right here in the, I mean, my friends and my family also had traveled and come, and they had seen the spectacular event and everything. So I'm work wise, I'm in a touchwood, I'm in a good space where I can do a lot of things by experiment and enjoy and learn and having fun while doing it. So that is the sort of place where I am. It's a little bit of myself and my work. So if you have anything else to ask on, Vedica plus work, I would be happy to answer those as well.
Thanks so much, Nithya. I think that's a wonderful, introduction to yourself, and it's so interesting. I've also never heard you like this, so I think to hear you share about your journey is very interesting to know, especially the post Vedika part of it. Yeah. So thanks very much for sharing. So before we move on to even asking Nithya questions, Kunal, do you want to jump in and share about the current program or anything you want to introduce regarding the program?
So Nithya, since you graduated and left Vedica in 2016, we have a total of 350 plus alums at the moment, and our current batch strength is going to be 120 in the coming year. Was someone saying something? Okay. Our current batch strength is going to be around 120 plus, and our 8-batch cohort is coming, and we also have a new scheme called as Day Scholars Program for women especially, who probably live in and around Delhi and are not able to make time due to prior engagements with probably their elder people at home or the marriage or the child. So we've allowed some 20 more slots as day scholars, people who can just come and visit the campus for classes and then go back. We realize that it's about time we open our gates to more kind of diversity and more people who are able to make it to campus. Since you've left, we've also had some great recruitment opportunities which continue to come, and we have had around 97% of the current batch placed, and with the convocation coming, we're about to see them completely placed. Yeah, so our placements are great, amazing, and thanks to all of you leaving a great mark in your recruitment companies and in your companies itself, and also some of you coming back as recruiters. That's been a great help. And I'm just so glad that we're doing this webinar finally. It's been 6 years. And I guess when I say that, a lot of you just feel like it's not been 6 years, but it has been 6 years since you left Vedica. And I'm so glad to have you back here. And even though I'm new, I'm really cherishing this time that I get, a little time that I get to spend with each one of you to understand what it was like to be at the beginning and now that we are. It's a good range to think about. I think that's it from my side. You can continue, Ananya.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Kunal. So, Nithya, I think like we have questions, which we've received, and even, if there are questions which come up during the webinar, it'll be great if you help us answer them. So to begin with, I think I'm very interested personally, in understanding that if you look at your program, you were on campus, and you stayed and you experienced the complete program. And then, of course, like you shared your journey of moving abroad and, exploring the domain of artificial intelligence or working in that space dedicatedly. I want to know that how did Vedika kind of, help you in this journey, or was there any, significant impact which you took back to your life and your workspace from Vedika?
That's a great question. Thank you, Ananya, for asking. Also, congratulations on the program, making it, becoming super successful and almost 93 person's placement. I'm sure people will get placed. Even so, personally, even if you take my case, right, I graduated without a job. After graduation, within 2 months, I found the most amazing job out there. So, so I think it's still continuing, and I'm sure the 93 number would go up further only. So congratulations on that note. Coming back to the question, so I had a lot of things to learn from Vedika. Let me just start by saying currently, on the non-management or the non-academic course side, Vedika also had courses and modules on leadership and communications. So on the leadership side, it sort of helped me find my style of leadership, right? There was a lot of focus on empathy and positive cheerleading based on your personality type, where professors and, career coaches guided you to identify your own leadership and work style as well. So that sort of, I took that with me wherever I went. All these three companies I've been, taking that as my moral compass. And my style of leadership is personally motivational kind of leadership. So I'm like always the cheerleader of my team. Come on guys, we can do this, and that sort of a person. So I mean, it sort of instilled that confidence in me that, your innate qualities of what makes you as a person, you can still use that positively to contribute well in work and in your personal life, right? So Vedika also had this stress on being a benchmark professional. So our founding dean Anuradha and our placements, when especially during the time of placements, right, she kept stressing on that. And that sort of was ingrained in our minds, right, to be a benchmark professional wherever you go. And so I made this as one of my moral compass in this, to navigate through this corporate world. Be it how I communicate, I structure my thoughts even in writing, like solution documents or the presentation of the numerous decks I make, right, numerous PPT slides or whatever. So be it how I communicate, I use the points that were still taught to us by professors in Vedica. Be it how I lead with empathy. Empathy-based leadership is not only for leading teams, but it's also useful to design products. Understand your customers' pain points, and you design it. Make it very friendly for them to use. So I think being a benchmark professional, that is something that is always in your mind, and tells you to do better at work as well. And from Vedika also, when I had just joined Vedika just out of college after completing my engineering. So I sort of had this myopic point of view. It was just either two extremes or very binary sort of view, because we came from a coding background. It was all zeros and ones to me. And sort of joining the course helped me unlearn a lot of things. Even if you've done only 4 years of engineering, it sort of puts a lot of thoughts in your head, and makes it structured in a very 2D two-dimensional way. So Vedika helped me unlearn a lot of things with respect to career, lifestyle, and any approach to solving a problem. So wherever you go, right, be it in tech or any other field, you always have to solve problems in your daily job. So that whole approach to even problem solving has changed a lot after joining Vedica, I would say. So these are the two non-management academic takeaways that I took from Vedica. But if you come to the management side of things also, there was an amalgamation of experiences. Like I had a lot of interesting experiences while in Vedica. Like there was this module called the Shadow of Woman CEO, and I got an amazing opportunity to shadow Mrs. Samina Vasarali, who was the executive chairman of CIPLA. And so I got to work in her office. I got to sit in strategy war room meetings, and she was so encouraging, and she was so motivating that a graduate just fresh out of college, and almost about to graduate Vedica as well, the kind of experiences that I was put into, sitting there at the boardroom stuffs, and where she said, "Hey, talk. Do you have something to say about this?" Right? Voice up, even though you're an intern in the room, literally. Voice out, talk, tell your opinion on what you have to say. Things like that, pushed me. Like always reminded me to speak up wherever you are, wherever, even if you're the lowest paid person on the table, speak up, voice your opinion, right? That sort of stuck with me. And during the course, I also got to pitch. Like some of us got to pitch our long time dreams or our startups to some VCs from Sequoia Capital also. So they had wonderful feedback to say about what I was presenting as my startup back then. It was a part of a course, but it was amazingly helpful. How to structure your thoughts, how to ask for how to ask for something. We were asking for a funding of for a giant million number, you know acting with actual it was just a role play course, right? But it was actually a course that you get to meet real VCs who would have that kind of opportunity. You wake up one day morning and they tell you to pitch to a Sequoia Capital VC. Come on, Nithya, go pitch your idea. That was it. That's how Vedica is for you. In the minute of preparation, they get 3 hours time to quickly spin up something and pitch to a great person who has a ton of money, a high visible investor. That sort of experience. You wake up one day or one random day, not even, sometimes you're not even told that you're being a great guest is visiting you, or a high profile speaker and coming is speaking to you that day or anything. So that sort of kept always always be presentable, always be prepared, always be curious, keep learning and everything. So all these values sort of makes Vedica more interesting for me. And never one day, or like we were not bored at all during the course. That's what even I would say, right? It kept you always intrigued and on your toes. I still use the problem solving frameworks that were taught in Vedica. Kaustubh had come from McKinsey and he had taught these frameworks. So I still use them. And actually, that is how I even got my first job for just out of Vedica. They had told me to give in an offline case. I use all the frameworks for Vedica was taught in Vedica, and I use it to this day to do my product strategy as well. It applies sort of everywhere, because those were proper frameworks, which was a blend of all the consulting companies. You don't get those sort of matrices and frameworks management. I mean, these are like special courses you have to sign up for online, take them and read them. But throughout Vedica, you have a different sort of eclectic mix of courses. If you want to get into consulting, go. If you want to get into tech, go. If you want to get into marketing, go. They sort of prepare you for everything, I guess. And finally, I would also like to mention about a great team of peers. My class had a bunch of interesting people. We were the founding batch, and so everyone was a little bit, joining a new course, right, which was being launched for the first time. And so everybody had that same bit of craziness streak as myself, right? So putting all those people together in a room coming from various backgrounds also helped a lot, because I still, if I have any questions in anything, for example, just last month I was working on a government consulting project, and I had to make frameworks for like measurement, or uh, uh, telling the government, say, okay, we've implemented this for you. Now, how do you measure in 6 months or a year if it is a success or not? So I immediately reached out to my peers. classmates who were in that field of, measuring stuff, in quality management and quality assurance, and I could reach out and get resources immediately. So alumni network also, is a treasure trove of information that you could always reach out to anytime, and it will always be helpful in your career as well. So I think these are a lot of learnings that Vedika has taught me.
Thank you so much, Nithya. That's so interesting. It's good to be on the other side and hear you share it like this. So, also, Nithya, maybe we are very interested to understand that why the space of artificial intelligence? Like, what's your personal motivation? And tell us a little about your journey in AI and tech by and large. And as a woman in tech, what is it like for you to be there?
All right. I'll start with the first question, why AI? So, fresh out of engineering, I always wanted to do something in tech only. But I didn't want to. So, I had a campus placement job in IBM. So, it was either, so the joining date was in the same day, first day of Vedica. So, it was either Vedica or choose that IBM job. The thing was, I was very much interested in tech, but I did not want to take the coding engineering sort of route in tech. So I loved leading teams in college as well. I was a part of a lot of clubs. I like to do things innovatively. I always liked problem solving. I like to do a little bit of everything. I didn't want to just sit and code. I mean, there are people who enjoy that, but it was just that I wanted to do a lot more stuff in tech as well, right? So I was just thinking of where and what could I do, because there wasn't a lot of options, or I wasn't aware of a lot of options back then. So what I thought was, there was a lot of stuff interesting about Vedica, what I thought would help me decide what to do, what I want to do, and maybe sort of find my niche. Right, it helped me find my niche, I would say. So I was just looking for something on, I still didn't know. I like doing a lot of quality, a lot of things. Like I like to lead, I like to organize, I like to speak, but I don't know what career that I would be working in. I had a lot of qualities, but I don't know where do I work, what do I do for a living, right? So somehow I have to give a bunch of credit to Vedika, because it helped me streamline things. I got to know what is out there in the world, right? I didn't have a lot of career awareness. I came from a small town city. I mean, it is a city now with one airport where there are no flights running, but still I'm from a small city comparatively. I didn't have much career awareness, but now with a sort of exposure and sort of social capital I've accumulated through Vedika as well, I'm able to, take a lot more calculative and thoughtful decisions in my life. But the program also helped me a bunch to figure out what I had to do. So when I came to Vedika, I had the best of both worlds, both management and liberal arts, where I got to learn about public policy. I got to learn about consulting and everything. So I wanted to sort of do something in the mix of consulting, public policy, technology. I don't even know if there was a job like this. Okay, now I am doing it, but I didn't even know back then there is a job which could, intersect public policy, consulting, and technology. So after Vedika, as I was saying, that the peer group itself is a treasure trove. So one of my friends, who was my actual classmate in Vedika, was working in Bristlecone, which is the Mahindra group of that AI group of AI consulting company. And she asked me, I think you are interested in operations, you're interested in public policy consulting, tech consulting. It's a tech consulting job, that you might like, right? Why don't you apply for it, go through, and if you get it, it's great. So that's how I started applying and got into technology. And then I loved the field of AI because it was very innovative and was still upcoming. So you had a lot more innovative and fun things to do than that space. That's how I figured it out. And going forward, after 3 years, after 4 years, I was still like, I wanted to do something meaningful also. Okay, AI helping businesses are great. This line of field is okay, but I also always liked public policy. I also did a fellowship, a 1 month public policy research fellowship after Vedika as well. So I wanted to get into that space as well. So now working in G42 in Dubai, I lead teams to do AI solutions or help AI to help officials in the government to make better decisions in terms of security, in terms of policy making and everything. So like that, now my job is sort of like, all my three things, three areas of interest combined and doing. I don't know, 5 years down the line, I might like some other field and I might jump to that probably, right? And Vedika is the one also where there was one professor called Undi Karunakara. He was the former president of former high ranked official, former president of Doctors Without Borders. So, and after so many years of his work and mediating with governments in a high critical pressurized job, and then now he's raising funds by doing professional cycling all around the world, right? That was one of the things he was doing 2 years back. So that sort of opened me to say that, hey, we are not like our parents. We are not meant to. I mean, if it is not, if it does not resonate with us, we didn't stick to one job for the next 40 years of our life, right? 5 years, 2 years down the line, I was doing something different. Now in 3 years, I'm doing something else. Maybe I will continue this streak for 10 more years to make my niche in this field, and then carve out space for my own. So these sort of things is where it led me to what I'm doing right now. That's, if that sort of answers your AI question. I still haven't come to the women in tech question, but this part I wanted to make it clear.
Wonderful, Nithya. Thank you. Very, very, I think, very fascinating for me also to understand where you were coming from. Yeah, like why this switch, or how come this space. Thanks for sharing. Please, go for the women in tech part. I know everyone's waiting for this.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you are from tech, this information might not be new to you because you find a lot of entry roles, lot of women in entry level or associate level roles. But when you go up the corporate ladder, there are, you don't see that many women. Like if you enter a board meeting, there might be one or there might be none. So as you climb higher and higher in tech, the gap is so huge that it is very very problematic. Even if a woman or one or two of us make it and we are there in those meetings, it's very sort of an alienating atmosphere, at least at the beginning of when you take on new jobs or new roles or in a new environment, right? It's sort of it we are half percent of the population. I mean, ideally you need to see more of us being in those positions, but the situation is so right now that we have to take it. I mean, I personally feel that it is I have to do some justice to this situation. So I keep encouraging more women to take more tech roles, because not all tech roles need coding as well, right? And not all tech roles need a STEM degree as well. So I mean, we should keep, as women in tech, we should keep encouraging more women to take up spaces in tech, reclaim our lost space, I would say, because the first complex computer program was written by Ada Lovelace back in 1840s or 50s, if I'm right. So from there, when women were doing all sorts of great things, from Grace Hopper to women who were doing most of the coding job back then, right now you see very very few women in tech, and not in a lot of high roles. Basically just out of engineering roles, and then they just drop out because there's not enough support that we give to women also, be it after marriage to continue their jobs, or even in the company. There are, I would say, like three things that the company should work to support more women, like with respect to education, right? Not even, it doesn't need, you don't need to have a STEM degree to break into tech as well. You can always learn skills online, and tech is a field where things keep changing every few months. So it's not like if you have an engineering degree 20 years back, 5 years back also, that would help you in your job anyway. So it's always, you have to keep learning. So if the right attitude and learning, curiosity to learn a lot of new things, you can make it in tech. So this education part and upskilling part, we need to tell women to join, break the, come forward, break the stigma, join tech and keep learning. You can, there are multiple online courses where you can spend almost near to nothing to learn all these new skills that is being up and coming in data and technology. Second would be hiring, right? In tech world, people tend to hire other people who look a lot like themselves, and themselves, the current people who are presently are engineering men, 30 plus engineering men, right? So they tend to hire a lot of people like themselves with pedigree degrees and whatnot, right? This situation is slowly changing. In India, after I graduated from Vedica, initially to get through, I had to prove a lot. I had to do double the amount of work that my counterpart who is a male would have done, right? I had to take a lot of offline assignments. So I, even during the interview, they said, why should I hire you, right? I had to say, you give me an offline task, I will do it for you in two days. You see, if you like it, we can get into a discussion, and then you can hire me based on the output that I produce, right? This, my male counterpart, I don't know if he would have done or not, right? So initially, to prove myself or to break the stigma, we as a women have to do a lot, and we have to be mentally prepared and very, very resilient to do a lot in this tech industry. They will keep you, I mean, even in a meeting room, or most often you will be in rooms where there'll be a lot of men and senior men that also. So they'll always, even subconsciously, they will keep doubting you, right? Do you belong to this room? Okay, it's sort of this societal conditioning, I would say, but still subconsciously they will be like, what are you doing here, right? So even if you are new, even if you are new to the field, right? I mean, women have to fight and ask for the right projects, first of all, right? Either if you're joining in, say for example, if you're joining PwC, I was working in PwC, right? If you're a woman, they might put you in healthcare or femtech products. That's the sort of conditioning is still there. Like, you have to fight for and ask, no, I want to be in this government project, and I want to be in cybersecurity or something like that. You have to fight for and ask for, you work in projects also, but you take side projects and you say, no, I will, I want to learn, I want to grow in that space as well. And, take on more interesting stuff. So we have to, at least in the initial stage, we have to do double the work, I would say, than our male counterparts to make it to where we are, to reach a comfortable level, to choose projects, to choose what we want to do, to choose what we want to work in, I would say that even companies, the third thing is retention. Education, I think I covered. Hiring, retention. Okay, retention in companies. So basically, companies have female staff, but they don't encourage them to, there's not a good enough female support system that to rely on to, climb up the ladder in a particular company even. So women in tech, if you want to get ahead in, like, in AI or any sort of tech field for that matter, there are, other than you look for support groups or solidarity groups outside your company as well. If you are a woman working in data, if you're a woman working in products, there are groups online, and locally, even in your city, they might meet up, right? Like for products and women, women working in data, women in STEM. So these sort of groups are always there, where you can post your questions, you can gain support. Hey, I'm facing this problem where I have to build confidence with my manager, right? Can you tell me, in your experience, what you did to overcome this? And there'll be 100 women replying to that post, right? So these are sort of the things that we can make use of. I know it is hard to make it in climb up the ladder in tech, but once you are there, we need a lot of women in tech, because we need a representation there. There's a lot of things waiting to be accomplished by us alone, and we can only do it. Imagine, last month I was in 2 months back I was in Gitex. It was a global summit happening, global tech summit happening in Dubai. There was this VP of a huge healthcare company. Uh, uh, it was she was saying that when people pitched to her about tech products, there was the startup who were pitching about making women's menstrual health better. Okay, that was a tech app. Okay, and there was not even a single woman in the founding team. Okay, you design products for women without women. So there's a huge gap, if you see, right? And this is a CEO, like a VP level women professional in a huge company. She had to say this, right? And she's come flown all the way from Silicon Valley to say this. So here in India, in Middle East, or in USA or anywhere for that matter, women are, population wise, representation wise, we are very, very, very less numbered. So I would encourage women to take up and break into more tech roles, and please help us design more friendly products, more empathy based products. Keep learning. Industry is changing very fast. You can break into this industry, but do not let go, right? Please join, take up more tech roles. It doesn't need coding or anything. You can just take up more tech roles. There are a lot of tech roles that don't need coding, right? Project manager, product manager, business analyst, UX designer, information architect. So even if you do a quick search on Google, you can aim for these roles, and you can apply. There are a lot of companies hiring women actively because they're realizing to see this gap. From Google to Uber to everyone, they're beginning to feel the gap, and they're hiring women a lot. So if you are looking to because the world is moving into the tech zone, and all the companies are, we are consumers of technology every day. So it is important that we be there and design products to use ourselves. So I would really encourage for all of us to get into tech, even though you're willing to learn and you're new to the field. Join tech. And I know, we have to ensure that a lot of women join tech. We have to be uh, we have to not be the gatekeepers, and instead encourage more women to take up such roles, wherein own up, pick your battles to fight. This is one of my battles, and I can use this call to call upon people to please join and fight along with people like me to join this cause.
So, Kunal, I just want Nithya to just share one more thing before we jump to the questions. I hope that's okay. And Kunal, then maybe you can help us with the questions. So, Nithya,
Yeah.
what you just shared, I personally was just reflecting and thinking that that's quite a challenge, and you make it seem like a cakewalk. But at the same time, what was your motivation? What kept you going in the space of tech in spite of so much of a pushback and so much of a gendered stereotype in the industry? What was that motivation for you?
um I actually, honestly speaking, I don't know where this motivation is coming from, but I have to pay my bills at the end of the day. I have my loans to pay. But the thing is, I like working in this field, the kind of, as a person itself, right? I like innovating. I like being in the field where there is, new things to figure out, and, upcoming things, interesting things. So Vedica as a founding batch itself was new, right? So I think intrinsically that nature to find out what's there, curious to and this new founding batch also isn't new to me either. In undergraduate also, my robotics course was one of the first undergraduate robotic courses in India. So this kind of risk taking, this kind of pushing, so I like to take on challenges, and I'm sure there are a lot of women like me. Most of my women colleagues also love a good challenge, right? So being even when I had studied right from my school days, and right from even my collective other experience also, right? I'm from a small town as well, so I always have to raise my voice, and to be to belong somewhere, to tell, hey, this is how I feel, though, or they, any major dominated scenario, right? Be it the big town kids or the small town kids, be it the men versus the women or wherever, right? You'll have to speak up. I like doing that, I think, and Vedika and my schooling on my UG, all the sort of courses are, help me reach where I am, because Vedika also helped me speak up with confidence, right? Modules like Shadow Women CEO, where she said an intern to speak in the boardroom, or, there was this one course with Professor Stacy, wherein she told us to enjoy the small wins and celebrate the good things in what you're doing frequently, right? So this sort of helped me to prepare well and break the inertia, right? Initially, when you join any new job or any new role or a team, they will constantly doubt you, but speaking up with confidence, that, you're realizing that your opinion matters, your voice matters, and everything sort of, this mental training that also went through in Vedica, right? You keep saying, women, we have to change. Women, come on, be the benchmark professional. You have to take up this cause. Sort of even primed you, or, like sort of encouraged you to, speak up for people like you, I guess. I think that should be it.
Superb. Thanks, Nithya. That's very, very interesting. I think I'm personally very encouraged, and I, of course, want to need some time now for the question answer session. So, Kunal, over to you. We can take on the questions now.
Even I would like to actually address some of what Nithya said. It was very, very inspiring to hear, and also took me back to Ananya and our conversation with Prasanna, who had come and we had taken an interview, and she said something similar about the landscape while navigating through a industry dominated by men generally. It's so difficult, and you have to constantly work twice the amount of time, and you don't. I understand that it's a big it's known and it's understood by women, but I think it's about time men start realizing this as well, and we start being allies. It's about time. And to continue, I guess we have a lot of impending questions, some of which you also answered. I'm assuming you did see the chat at some point where someone asked, what are some technical fields not requiring coding? So Nithya did mention a few. Nithya, if you can just let them know again so that we have that point covered.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Diksha. Um, what are the technical fields not required coding? So I would say where I am at also, I don't do coding. I don't do coding at all. I've never done one piece of code in my past 4 years of work experience. So the thing is, project manager roles, product manager, associate product manager, product owner, scrum master. You can just like keep taking note of the scrum master roles, information architect, product marketing roles, marketing analyst, marketing specialist, but just for products, and go to market strategy for products and platforms. Business analyst don't necessarily mean working with data. I was a BA in PwC as well. I didn't do one piece of coding. So those kind of roles, more in BD as well, business development and product as well. That also can be a space you can see in tech. They don't call BD in tech. Usually these FANG companies, right? Your Facebook, Amazon, Netflix sort of, Google sort of companies, or those FANG top tech companies, this term called customer success manager. So that is some role you can check out. Yeah, these are some roles, but a quick Google search would give you more roles. But these are the top roles that are, product roles are up and coming. They're the most sought after roles after MBA. So product roles, go for it, and customer success roles also go for it. These roles are quite sought after roles, just like consulting, like a post MBA sort of a role.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question, Diksha, that you have?
No, that was all.
Okay. Also, Nithya, you mentioned about your shadow module, shadow woman leader module. Right now, our current updated eighth cohort that is upcoming will have 2 months of shadow woman leader module, as opposed to, I think, what you had was 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now we have 8 weeks of the shadow woman leader module, and we're really excited to see how that pans up, because it gives you more face time, and hopefully, if the pandemic is not an hindrance, we'll probably see some of these scholars going to offsite locations, right?
Yeah, wow, that's great news, because in the time that we had, it was a little difficult because we had to keep shadowing this amazing woman wherever she's going. Plus, we had to take like a side project if we are interested. Plus, we had to take like a side live project where we could contribute to, and the time was very short, and we had to put in long hours as well. This 2 months is great. Finally, I think that will be a
So
great
now we
learning
have 2
experience.
months, and yeah. I will take up the next question by Vansita. She's saying, yeah, you're saying something.
No.
We're saying something. Okay.
No.
What is the best way of starting in tech? She asks which courses to take and which online courses to upskill if you're not from STEM field at all.
All right. So it depends on the role that you want to do. So let me take examples of, the top roles sought after MBA. One is the product role, product manager or associate product manager role. Second could be customer success manager. So let me take up product management first. There are a lot of online courses out there in Udacity, in Udemy, generally in YouTube as well. Start following these tech, just type product leaders on LinkedIn, and automatically LinkedIn will give you a list of the top influential product leaders for 2021 and 2022. Click them, follow them. They keep posting almost every day. They give a list of resources to read from, and read a lot of books also. Start with reading Inspired by Marty Kagan. This is a good product introduction book. So a lot of product managers in tech are not necessarily from a STEM degree background. They have done, most people you see in Google or Facebook are usually from history, humanities, English literature, biology. Okay, it's not like you have to have a degree in engineering to make this to take a product role. So you can look up the top product management courses and you can start reading up on it. Customer success as well. So if you're interested in marketing, a little bit of intersection of marketing plus product, then you can look up those courses online. Customer success manager is sort of BD, so it can never really be thought, but if you're good in talking and in communicating and selling yourself, and also selling your products, and this is a great job for you. But yeah, seriously, look into courses related to product management, and it's a very up and coming field where they're hiring a lot of women. So I think this is the right time to get into this stream.
I took the opportunity to just make notes so that everyone who wants to read this can just copy it from the chat.
Thanks,
Great
Nithya.
job.
Thanks for the advice. Do you suggest any names, like any product leaders' names, like one or two from the top of your mind?
Yeah, so you can follow a lot of, so I can type also, or I don't know, but you can follow Product School on LinkedIn. So they
Okay.
keep having product fireside chats almost every day. They keep introducing one leader every day, and they have these lists as well. 2021's famous product leaders, 2021's famous product leaders. So if you follow Diego Grandos from Microsoft, um, then Marty Kagan himself, just follow Product School. Product School almost has one chat with one PM from India, from US, from Europe. Whether it is a game product, whether it is Facebook, whether it is Uber, or just a new upcoming app. So all product managers sort of have these daily talks. They talk about either leadership, digital transformation, or launching a new thing, how to build mockups. One interesting topic every day they cover. So I highly recommend you follow Product School on LinkedIn, Twitter, on YouTube as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Nithya. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And the good part was to even get these conversations, because it's a very, very fragmented space now. It's up and coming. It's hot in tech right now. Vedica actually was a conversation starter when I was hunting for jobs in Dubai. I didn't have a great network in Dubai, right? My husband also is working in a very, very different field. He's in accounting and finance. So he has no sort of connections in tech whatsoever. So I had to go on LinkedIn, and I sort of had to reach out. I used to call message people on LinkedIn. And Vedica was a good conversation starter, because they said, what, you did management and liberal arts? How did that go? How did that work out for you? So they wanted to meet me and learn more, because these sort of leaders learn the importance of liberal arts, right? So that sort of perspective of thinking, how much value attached to designing user friendly products for the users, right? So they sort of want these people to be in their teams. So that sort of helped me land good interviews, and ultimately land a good job. But yeah, Vedika could be quite a conversation starter. More than India, it made heads turn in Dubai. But India also, I was managed. PwC interview I could only get because they were interested in interviewing me, because what liberal arts, what did you learn?
Yeah, and we realize that when recruiters come and speak to our scholars, and they come with a mindset to hire anywhere, that they can probably get people who can don multiple hats. And I think Vedica scholars are prepared for that already with the help of the liberal arts that we teach here.
That's true, because in the clutter, it makes you stand out, right? Hundreds of people are applying for this product jobs, right? What makes you stand out, right? My profile stood out obviously
Right.
because I had a liberal arts thing, and of course, your background makes you stand out for a person and your resume, what you've done in life. But this liberal arts is sure to make you stand out from the rest of the crowd, I would say.
That's very reassuring to know that we're doing it right even 6 years after you've gone out. Apurva has had her hand raised for a long while. Go ahead, Apurva.
Hi Nithya, it was great to know like how you traverse your career after Vedica. And just to introduce, I hope Kunal remembers me. I'll be graduating in
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week from
I know, I
Vedica,
know.
and
Oh,
I just came to say
congratulations.
hi to you.
Hi. We can offshore connect offline, and maybe we can get to know each other and talk more. If you are about to graduate, this is an interesting space to be in.
Yeah, sure.
I can help do that. Apurva, you can connect with me. And if you really want to speak to Nithya, and if Nithya is available, for sure, let me connect you both after this webinar. Any other questions from anyone? Anything else you would want to add, Nithya?
I would like to say have fun while studying at Vedica, because I still cherish those wonderful opportunities. See, today if I wake up and say, "Hey, will I be working with a top woman CEO? Will I be walking into World Bank and meeting my mentor, or would I be walking into Rashtrapati Bhavan suddenly with who's who of India?" Meeting for a conference and me helping organize the conference. Would I suddenly wake up and listen to Ankur Wariku say good morning in class today? Or suddenly would I wake up and give my exams? Surprise test. But no, really, it's a very it was a very nice, interesting mix of experience I had at Vedica. But I would say totally enjoy this whole experience, because this is a once in a lifetime experience. I'm sure if I take another course, or go ahead and do one more higher study course, right, I would not get the same experience which I got in Vedica, because of course it's a unique, one of a kind experience in itself. So I think I really miss those times and hanging out with my friends as well. But I sort of miss the safe space we had for discussions and debates, where we sort of saw growth in ourselves as well, ideologically, career wise and whatnot, right? Yeah, even if you want to reach out to me or anybody else for that matter, right, so I can see or say that confidently, say that my peers as well. So take my friend Chinmay, for instance, from Vedika. She had already had an Amazon and a Google work experience before joining Vedica, and it's my pleasure that I got to meet and work with such lovely people, brainstorm together, do assignments and tasks together. People, that lot of people, they have gone to do branding strategy, they have gone to do take care of their family businesses. Maria is in from all parts of India. My friend Maria is in Kerala taking care of her family business with learning from Vedica. Chinmay is doing great in Bangalore. Ashmita is again going to Coimbatore and she's doing branding strategy. A lot of people are, killing it. Kathy is doing branding strategy in Chennai. So it's not
Yeah.
just Delhi. So that, it's not like if you come to Vedika, you're just going to land a job in Delhi, right? You can also make and break your space anywhere in down the south region also. Because when talking about tech, you have to talk about Bangalore, obviously, right? So
Yeah.
I think Ananya would agree. uh,
Yeah.
so
Also,
yeah,
like,
I can also connect to you. These people is what I meant by making that point. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to other people as well. I can connect you with those people who are doing well in branding, are doing well in marketing, are doing well in HR or other fields as well.
Fantastic. So, Kunal, do you want to share anything else?
no, I think this was very insightful.
Yeah.
I don't want to contaminate this space anymore. But it was very nice to hear from you. I love talking to the founding batch. They have a very bright and hopeful perspective, And it's so nice to see that you're also well established where you are and still learning and you still want to impart and you're so inviting towards new people to come and approach you if they have any doubts and questions. That's so nice to hear. And thank you so much, Nithya, for coming here online today. Thank you so much, Anya, for organizing this. And it's very great of you, Apurva, that you did join. I wish more of your batchmates would have joined. Maybe they would have had a lot of fun here today. So glad that they missed out on something great. Anyway, thank you,
We'll make this
Diksha. Thank you,
available for
Muskan.
everyone. I think very soon we'll have this on our social media platform. And I think please encourage others to also watch. And like Nithya said, if we have doubts, queries, we can always reach out. Yeah. So Kunal, I hope that's okay.
Definitely.
We can make this available soon on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And for
Okay.
Diksha and Muskan, you can reach out to us for anything you want to talk to us about. If you want any kind of help in your career trajectories, write to us at info@vedicascholars.com. Towards the end, I would just like to say that our round 2 applications are closing. The deadline is 27th Feb. So if you're halfway through completing your application, then now would be a great time to finish it so you can get through the interview and probably get shortlisted. We'll see you on the 8th batch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nithya. It's been so wonderful, listening to this entire, webinar that so nicely made time for. And I think the way that you shared about your career, I personally feel it's very encouraging. And I think I'm waiting to see that how many more people, like on social media, get to hear, engage with this space. So thanks for the great work you're doing. Thank you for making time, coming back, speaking. Please take good care. Thanks everyone for joining the webinar.
Thank you so much, Ananya and Kunal. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
listening. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.